Well, stop me if you've heard this before, but Nikola Jokic just had a monster game. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Yes, but the Sacramento Kings stink. Well, yes, but the Denver Nuggets did just lose to this same Sacramento Kings team like 3 weeks ago by a score of 128 to 123. That was despite the fact in that game, Nikola Jokic had 44 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists, only 2 turnovers, mind you. But, well, he did shoot a paltry 16 of 28 from the field in that game, good for only 57%, which is pedestrian for the great Nikola Jokic. Tonight, he shored that up. He tightened it up in a major way. He shot 14 of 16. That's good for 88% for all of you mathematically challenged individuals out there. Yes, 14 of 16 from the field, 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists, only 1 turnover in tonight's game and 2 steals. Oh, and did I mention in just 29 minutes? Yes, Nikola Jokic didn't have to play a second of the fourth quarter in this game, and that is a rarity for him, unlike Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who just a night ago was being praised across the internet about how efficient he is, about how he doesn't have to play any fourth quarters, about how many points he's scoring per minute right now this season. Shai last night had 28 points in only 27 minutes. But again, anything you can do, I can do better, says Nikola Jokic. 36, 12, and 8 in just 29 minutes for him. And yes, it's true, the Oklahoma City Thunder are likely going to win 75-plus games this season, but in my estimation, more impressively, the Denver Nuggets are now on 62-win pacing after their win tonight. They retain solo possession of the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, which is nothing shy of a miracle at this point because they have been without Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown for over half of the season now. That would be 2 of their 4 best players. This team has had Spencer Jones and Peyton Watson in the starting lineup for a month, and they are still the number 1 net-rated offense in the NBA. It really just speaks volumes to what kind of a prolific all-time offensive engine Nikola Jokic is. And he does this kind of stuff through 3 quarters all season long. Half of his triple-doubles come through 3 quarters. Nikola Jokic doesn't need the fourth quarter either, just like SGA doesn't, to put up massive numbers for him. It's just that his team stinks compared to the Oklahoma City Thunder, so he is forced to play in fourth quarters. But the internet has been ablaze with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as of late and how efficient he is right now. But again, we're just pretending like Nikola Jokic doesn't exist. I don't do that when it comes to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. For whatever reason, I've been painted as an SGA hater. I've been nothing but complimentary of SGA and effusive in my praise. In fact, 2 years ago, I said that he's on that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant trajectory. 2 years ago. I've been speaking highly of SGA, and even when I do talk up Nikola Jokic or present his case for MVP, I'm never downgrading or belittling Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, yet that seems to be all of these Nikola Jokic haters do, is just belittle and diminish Nikola Jokic and then criticize the people that are propping him up, like myself, for whatever reason. Again, nothing but love for SGA, who is smack dab in one of the greatest 5 seasons in NBA history, but the problem is that Nikola Jokic does exist, and he's just better. Everybody talking about SGA and how efficient he is, Jokic is more efficient. SGA right now is sitting at 7th league-wide in true shooting, and going into tonight, Nikola Jokic was 2nd league-wide in true shooting. And the expectation by me is after this performance tonight, again, where he shot 88% from the field on 16 attempts, that he's probably going to ascend to the top spot in true shooting. Jokic is setting the all-time NBA record right now for player efficiency rating. He's setting the all-time NBA record right now for box plus minus. And most importantly, the guy is just contributing to his team winning more than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is. That doesn't mean that he's going to win more games than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because the Thunder have a much better team minus SGA than do the Denver Nuggets minus Nikola Jokic. In fact, it's not even close. Even if you would add on Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown, it isn't close. But well, those guys are probably going to miss 30 to 35 games each, and it's overlapping. See, that's a big point. They're both missing all of the games at the same time. So the Nuggets really are completely shorthanded in the sense that their bench already isn't the deepest. Now they take two of their better bench players and have to insert them into the starting lineup. And yet again, still on a 62-win pace for the Denver Nuggets, still the number one offense in the NBA, the Denver Nuggets. Yes, me talking up Nikola Jokic and saying that he's the MVP isn't taking away from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's just that Nikola Jokic has to be more valuable than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. When you look at the reasons why the Denver Nuggets are so successful, they are so successful because of Nikola Jokic. He is the top reason. Conversely, when you look at why the Oklahoma City Thunder are so successful, they are so successful because of their absurd defense. Their league best defense, which is really the NBA's historical greatest defense. Last season, the Oklahoma City finished with a 6.92 in relative defensive rating. It made them the 10th greatest team in NBA history in that metric. This season, though, they have nearly doubled their mark from last year. They're sitting at 12.93. And if that number holds, they would not only be the best defense of all time, but the gap between the Thunder and second place is currently larger than the gap between second place and 64th. That is how great the Oklahoma City Thunder defense is. And hell, why wouldn't they be? They have Alex Caruso and Lou Dort, two guys who have made All-NBA first-team defensive selections in the past. They have Jalen Williams, who was All-NBA defense second team last year. They have Cason Wallace, who I like for All-NBA first-team defense this year, maybe second team, but definitely he's going to get some kind of a selection this season. And they have Chet Holmgren, who's going to make an All-NBA first-team defensive selection this year and is the odds-on favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year this season. That is 5 different All-NBA defensive caliber players on one squad, and I didn't even mention Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because he's like the 5th, 6th, or 7th best defender on this team. And again, that defense, their depth, is why they are so great. As great as the great SGA is, he isn't the principal reason why this team wins as many games as they do. It is the defense, and he isn't the best defender. He isn't the second best defender, the third best defender, the fourth best defender. But Nikola Jokic is the sun in which the Denver Nuggets rotate around, which to me is why Nikola Jokic should have been the MVP last season, and he should be the MVP this season. Now, if the Oklahoma City Thunder win 75, 76 games, hell, they're pacing for 79 at the moment, then more than likely the voters are going to give SGA the MVP again this season. And it's just going to look ridiculous when we look back at what Nikola Jokic produced in his peak and the supporting cast that he had to do it, the conference that he existed within when he was doing it, and the fact that, quite frankly, he's probably only going to end with 3 league MVPs. I think the writing is on the wall for that. The guy averaged a 30-point triple-double last season and didn't get the MVP. He's actually outdoing it this season, and he's probably not going to get the MVP. So there's no way he can raise the bar anymore, realistically. So the voters have already set the precedent. Having the greatest season individually in NBA history in a year where you produce 60-plus wins probably, missing 2 of your 4 best players for half the year, simply, well, that just isn't good enough to get MVP. And if that isn't going to get Jokic MVP, he likely never will get another one again.